Σταμάτα σου, πότε θα θυέστης αμόρ και με τα μαύρια μάτι σου, μάτι σου.
You know, my mom used to tell me a story about a lazy dog that sat on a tack. Just lazy enough, just sat there, kept sitting and howling.
Cigarette, me, Kelly. Light me, Kelly. Sexy ruins. Mama Earth, Daddy Apollo. Enjoy them. Sit beside me.
Listen here, Zarkus. Let's talk about old Grano.
Oh, why so serious, Kelly? There's no time for talk. It's time for cockles of the heart to warm in the sunshine, to listen to...
Grano.
Grano. A wine from Austria.
Man from Romania.
Oh, him? The communist agent?
That's the one.
Forget him. He's a non-entity. His type comes a dime a dozen. My government is not interested in him.
Your government is not? Well, how could that be, Zark? I mean, Grano is electronics expert. Underwater demolition, submarine devices. How could you not be interested in a spy like that?
Well, forgive me, no. He bores me. Enemy agents in distant lands bore me.
How about if I told you he was here now, right now on the island? Now, how would that grab you?
Not at all. Because you are mistaken.
No, as a matter of fact, we are not mistaken because we've been tailing him for several days.
Is that so? Imagine that. And counter-espionage never told me.
Zarkus, come off of it now. I'm telling you. We saw you talking to him in front of his house this morning.
Oh, yes, I forgot. He was offering me $50,000 for the security plans of my government. But I am an honest man. I wouldn't settle for less than $100,000.
All right, listen, we've been working together for a long time. Now, why the cop-out?
No cop-out, my friend. You know me better than that. Oh, no quarrel.
No, Zarkus, no quarrels. We just want a little cooperation, that's all.
You have but to ask.
Okay, I'm asking. Grano went into a taverna this morning, and he disappeared, flat out vanished.
Out the back door, maybe.
Well, there was only one entrance, and we were watching it the whole time. We went inside and asked the bartender. And the bartender gave us the same song and dance that you're giving us now. Why, old buddy?
My friends, I'm an old watchdog, the best. And I've learned over the years that a watchdog doesn't waste his energy barking when no one threatens his master's sheep. Grano is vanished. Splendid. Let it be so. Oh, now, if you'll excuse me, I will be late for my lodge meeting.
Lodge meeting?
Oh, very sexy lodge. You must come some night. So long, old buddies.
So you think Grano maybe came up with the 100,000?
Maybe.
Are you kidding? Listen, man, Zarkis is one of the most dedicated, politically aware anti-communist cops in the world. Now, what are you talking about?
But I didn't. You were the one that said.
You don't even know how to take a hint, do
I
you?
can take a hint.
No, you don't.
Yeah, give me a hint. I'll take it.
All right, hint.
All
See
right.
that?
Let's
You
go.
know how to take it.
Is that right? Yes.
Καλησπέρα.
Καλησπέρα.
Ο κύριος Grano.
Δεν είναι εδώ, επομένως δεν μπορείτε να τον δείτε.
Θα περιμένουμε.
Όχι.
Well, the man is not in, and she's not about to let us wait for him.
Well, listen, Thurman, why don't you do something right just now?
You want to give her a flower?
Για μένα, ευχαριστώ. Περάστε να τον περιμένετε.
Ωραία κύριος.
Δεν είμαι ωραίος κύριος. Είμαι ωραία κυρία. Είμαι ωραία κυρία.
What'd she say?
Well, I meant to call her a beautiful woman, but I called her a beautiful man, but she accepts anyway.
They let you on the island of Rhodes, a Rhodes Scholar. Holy. This must be Grano's room. Faristo. Ma'am. Ma'am. How do you say ma'am?
Put your lips together, Steve. Ma'am.
Oh, man, you never teach me anything good. I loved your work with her, though. I thought it was very good. At least it's got us in here.
Stunning. Stunning.
Surely. Hey. Guess what was inside the fireplace on the ledge?
There's a radio.
Scotty? Alfie, speak to me. Say something, anything. Say you're sorry for laying there. While I do your work for you. What happened to you? Before, remember the time?
Heard a noise.
Yeah.
Put my head through the door.
Yes, then what?
Somebody tried to take my ear off.
It's a shame. Probably felt like an elephant or something, right?
Was only a guy. I saw him myself for a moment or so.
Was not Grano. Wonder if it could have been one of Zarkis's guys.
Zarkis don't dig us, but he wouldn't do that.
No, I suppose not.
Well, listen, when it gets down to normal shape and size and pain, see if it can figure, where's Grano? Where's Grano? Think of that. Hey, Lexi. How you doing? How's business?
Today, very good. 30 people, 40 goats.
All right. Can you tell us, is there another way to get over to the mainland except, you know, by the ferry?
Sure, fishing boats. Only accommodation not very good, not very clean, no schedules. Company boats, very clean, very efficient.
Uh-huh, yes, I'm sure they are. Do you remember recently a man named Mr. let me see, Mr. Grano?
Romanian gentleman. He lives up in the house of Grandma Kuriaku.
That's the one, yeah.
I know everybody on island. I remember everybody like photograph, even tourists.
Well, that's great. Well, listen, going through your file up here, of your photographs, do you remember him crossing over to the mainland,
When?
Well, fish around there, see if you can find about 2 days ago. Are you sure?
Positive sure.
Uh-huh. Okay. Bye later.
That is the truth that you spoke.
Indubitably, you do.
Island souvenir, gentlemen. Very nice, very cheap. 7 brown captains of sea. Good % on Trintons.
No, I'll tell you what, we won't buy any from you now, but when we leave the island, we'll buy something from you, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Souvenir.
It's the guy from the apartment.
Well, you saw him, I didn't.
It's him. Listen, why don't you slide over to Jacques' place and rent us a couple of outfits. I'll see if I can hire a boat for a few days. It's getting ready to make a dive. those little elves that we met under the water today? Well, what were they doing down there, do you suppose?
I haven't got the slightest idea.
I'll give you another one. Who was they?
They mostly all look alike to me underwater, sir.
I have one of my famous funny feelings. I think we're blowing this whole assignment.
No, sir. No, sir. We have not blown a single thing, man. In the first place, our orders are thusly to pursue Mr. Grono, right? Okay. Anti-submarine detection device, Aztec. Now, why was I almost killed underwater? Because we were chasing a guy we came across while chasing old Grono, right? Okay, now where was I almost killed? Under the water. Under the water submarine. So you see, we're getting closer than we would really think that we were getting.
Hello, fellas. You ready? I come here myself to pick you up.
Zarkis, listen, as long as you're here and everything and you've come right in, I'd like to ask you a question if I could.
Sure.
You remember the guy Grano that we were worried about, the one that disappeared?
Good riddance.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, however, there was another guy, you know, the one that jumped Scotty and me in Grano's apartment.
We have a saying here that 2 swallows don't make a whole summer.
Yo, how about 6 swallows? Does that make a whole dinner or anything?
6?
6! Count them! Zarkis, in the past year, there have been 4 enemy agents that have disappeared into thin air. Each one of them was being followed by a tail, just like Scotty and myself. And each time the tail comes back to headquarters, cross-eyed, mumbling about the fact that he never took his eyes off his man, but still lost them. Now it's Grano, and then this afternoon it's this guy in the underwater temple. The same thing is happening to Scotty and me. That's 6 guys. 6, count them. Now, just tell me what this is all about.
I will tell you you're wasting your time.
Why?
Here on this island there is nothing. Nothing that can bring communist agents. Not strategic, not tactical, no secret installations.
Yeah, but I have the funniest feeling that you're still playing at Foxy yourself.
If there were communist agents on this island for real, you think I would be playing it like you say, Foxy? I have spent a lifetime running and killing these devils. Communist agents are only thriving best when there is disorder. When there's no disorder, they create it. Here, there is no disorder. No hammer and sickles here.
Yeah, only tridents.
Yes. Captains of Poseidon, like the Shriners, the Elks, the Masons. So why don't we have a drink of wine and relax?
Having a lot of fun? Dum-dum?
Yes, the Greeks invented it, you see. The Greeks invented also a word. It's the Greek word meaning
How's your ankle?
to throb.
What I thought. Look, have some of this wonderful and delicious goat's milk and calm down a little bit, you see. Settle yourself. Settle your stomach and your leg. Somebody you know?
It's difficult to tell when it's behind a face mask, but up close, especially, you can tell, especially when a guy is meaning to kill you.
What, today at that underwater temple thing? Well, one of us got to take him. You're due for another bout with your sticky salve. If you ever get done with our dancing daughters tonight.
Aló, aló, parcaló. Parcaló. Namila, parcaló, aló. Yes, in accuses. Envitrite, Mila. Envitrite, Dio, Epta. Di? I don't understand. You speak lousy Greek. Try English. No, he's not here. He's dead. Same as G. Both finished. Over. 2 American agents. Don't worry, we'll take care of them. Over. The police? Don't worry about the police. The police do what I tell them. Oh, and you send some more money. Good night, comrade. Out.
All right, you come right over. The pity of it. We both fight for the same thing, and I fight on your side.
No, you can't fool me, man. I heard what you were saying on the box there.
Hearing one thing and understanding is another.
Well, I understand what you're talking about, but I don't accept it. I don't accept the fact that a man is selling out his own country just for a few bucks.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to. These people, these islanders, the roots run deep into old things, old mysteries. People have come to conquer them right up to the Nazis. But they've always survived because of the rule of 7. Someone kills an islander, they take 7 of their people's lives. And now these communists from over there, They kill the mayor because he finds a nest of them. All right. 7 of their lives pay for 1 of ours. It was my idea from the beginning, and the people have accepted the idea.
So all the time you've been knocking them off?
So far, 6. First comes around just a snoop. He was easy. We fed him a little phony information about secret underwater installations that don't exist. And he contacts his superior officer, the one I speak to by radio. He becomes number 1 we kill. Then on the radio, I tell him about how easy it is to get secret underwater installations, and they send another and another.
Yeah, so you murdered him.
Like we have for the last 3,000 years. The rule of 7.
It's still murder. Now, who made you judge, jury, and executioner?
The rule of 7 has helped us to survive. I'm making you a straight offer. Take the initiation. Join the lodge.
What for?
Because you know too much now.
I get to wear one of those little shirts with the turtleneck and everything?
Scotty, please. This is your last chance.
No, thank you. No, sir.
Scotty, think. Think.
I'm thinking. And, you know, I know what I'm doing, and I don't understand what you're doing. Because after killing me, there's going to be 7 more, and 7 more, and there's going to be more and more going to come until you and yours are put in place with the rest of the psychopaths that have come unglued.
boy! Fate! Automatisme keep left there! Tapaparia su!
Edward G. Headed for the East River. Get in the boat, please. 2 tickets, please.
Well, how are you going to remember us if you don't look at us?
I remember you. I'll remember you for a long time.
Gentlemen, you say you buy souvenirs when you go. Very cheap. 7 captains of pussy and on best class.
Yes, I think I better buy one of these nice little plaster things, because you see, I was almost one.
Thank you very much.
Yes, he saved me.
Go!
Let's have another one. Move a little closer, will you?
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
Now we'd like to have one with the winner alone.
Yes, of course you would. All right.
How's this here?
All right. Well, listen, just take a hot shower and a good martini, and you'll be in good shape.
A good martini?
Yeah.
Good martini, don't I tell you, I don't really mind losing, man, if I'm playing my game. It's very difficult to play a game, however, when the wrappings are on there like it was a Mickey Mouse tire.
Don't blame it on the wrappings.
Don't blame it on the wrappings? What should I blame it on, sir?
Well, I mean, if you cut it out with...
Who wrapped this thing? Did I wrap this or not?
I wrapped it.
Yes,
Hey.
you wrapped it, didn't you? And it slides around this way, that way, everywhere. I can't hold on to a rack. What do you expect from me?
Hey, well, listen, I mean, if you cut it out with the booze and the bras, you
The
don't
helmet,
have
look.
to worry about it.
The booze does not come out the palm of the hand, making the whole thing slush this way, that. I can't hold on. You like it so much, you play with it
All
there.
right, well, listen, hey, I'll play with it, but you see, I don't sweat booze like you do. You know, if you just lay
Sweat
off
how
the-
many?
Just lay off the booze, that's all.
Wait a minute.
This is beautiful. Come on, let's get. Get in there. That's the way. Let's get it. Come on. Get a couple more shots.
Project Apollo is actually the greatest scientific, engineering, and exploratory challenge in the history of man. Now, its goal is to actually land Americans on the moon safely and return them. I'm supposed to dazzle you with statistics so that you can carry the good word back to Washington. Shall we move on? The launch vehicle with the spacecraft is about 36 stories high. There's enough fuel in it to power an automobile 18 million miles or 700 times around the world, you see. And it weighs 13 times more than the Statue of Liberty, if you've ever tried to pick up the Statue of Liberty. Under the Space Agency's direction, we have more than 20,000 companies, more than 300,000 people all working together to achieve what once was, a few short years ago, a dream or something out of science fiction. This is our Apollo command model. So essentially, this is an artificial world which is set up to survive 3 men artificially so that they can make the 239,000-mile trip to the moon, you see. And they will be the first to set foot on the celestial body. Now, Senator, I think you want to take a picture in front of the escape hatch here.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Thank you very much.
It takes the astronauts approximately 3 seconds to open the door, which is really 1/6 of the required time. Right, the 3 astronauts will travel in this combination, full cockpit, office, laboratory, bathroom. Then they'll control the flight by using some 24 instruments, 566 switches, 40 event indicators, 71 light switches, and 27 different means of communication.
This says he was a trainer for some tennis bum, and he gets in public brawls. And you people in industrial security made me hire him. I'm going to take him off this job.
No, you won't. He stays right where he is. Since you're so worried about sticking out your neck, I will tell you this much, and it's not to be repeated. And at this moment, Alexander Scott is more valuable to this company, the space agency, and the United States government than you are.
A lady, excuse me, hi.
Oh.
How you doing?
Hi.
How'd it go?
Beautiful.
All right, beautiful it is. That's what we'll celebrate. Beautiful first week of job.
Calling you, Billy.
Yes, he is. Ignore him.
Hey, listen, man, come on, don't be sore here.
Don't be a what? A sorehead? Oh, really? My dear, Bronwyn, this is my friend who gave me a sorehead last week, and then he said this week that I shouldn't have it anymore.
Listen, I had a lot of pressures that were building up, man, and they all hit me at the wrong times, man. What I'm saying is I'm sorry, and why don't we let bygones be bygones, all right? Please? Well, it's kind of a kicky job. I get a chance to drive around all the VIPs, get a close-up look at all the hardware and everything. You know anything about this place, Bronwyn?
Hardly. You know, until my security clearance comes, they won't let me see anything but the ladies' lounge and the clean room I'm working in.
How's it pay?
by the time they take out Social Security, withholding, and hospitalization, I'm afraid there really isn't that much to take home, you know. At the present time, I'm a little bit uptight for dough.
Well, listen, I can let you have a couple of bills if that'll help out.
A couple of bills ain't gonna do it this time, Herm. I gotta go to work. See you.
Okay, well, listen, I'll see you.
All right, well, now give me a call, right? And if you get your clearance from over at the place and you got nothing to do, we'll take you on a grand tour of the place.
Thank you.
Behave yourself.
All right, I'll behave.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, if you haven't got anything doing tomorrow night, why don't you get a date and join us?
The chanson on Sunset around 9.
Says the voice in the wind, like the white clouds that cross the sky, or the blossoms that die.
Hey, listen, man, will you excuse us, please? I gotta pick up a congressman in the morning.
Hey, what are you talking about? Come on, hey.
Scott, I want to see the show.
Here, you gonna stick me with this bill? Cut that out. Come on, stay, man.
With a handful of dusty dreams, you go your lonely, haunted way. Love comes, love goes, says the voice in the wind. And the footprints across the sand wash away in the tide. How can you know that it ever happened? Shadows alone remain. Shadows and a voice in the wind.
Alexander Scott, you phony.
I'll talk to you.
Talk, money talks, baby.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you.
You know, 4,000 behind on your alimony, but yet you have enough bread for nightclubs and chicks.
Well, I'm working.
I've heard that song for the last time. Now, either you come up with some bread by the end of the week, or you're going to jail, and you can count on it.
Well, how have you enjoyed yourself so far this evening?
It's really embarrassing.
Is that right? Listen, alimony. You never said anything to me about alimony.
Well, I don't have to tell you everything.
Yes, just drinks on the house, right?
Yes. This is the largest clean room in the world. It makes it possible for us to conduct the systems checks that the NASA requires to ensure reliability under practically sterile conditions. Now, once the astronauts have made their ultimate acceptance checks, they will fly this spacecraft to the moon. Now, you gentlemen are free to take a look around. Why don't you come with me? Enjoy yourself.
Got a minute?
Yeah.
No.
What's
I'm glad
on your
I
mind?
got you.
What's on your mind?
Scotty, you know, in the last couple of weeks we've become pretty good friends. Huh?
Yes, we have.
And friends can ask things, right?
Well, then that depends.
All right. Did you find the money you needed?
Now, where do you find money?
Oh, Scotty, you never find it. Not important money.
Well, what's on your mind?
Did she get in touch with you?
No, she doesn't, but her lawyers do every day. Why?
Well, to clear everything away, square it up. How much money would you need?
I don't even want to talk about it.
No?
No.
Would you like to be free and clear? I
Well,
mean it, Scotty.
Sure.
Uh-huh. How much will it take?
$7,500.
Well, I think there's a way you can get it. Maybe.
So, I made up a figure, and she said she'd try and come up with it. And I got to meet her tonight around 8.
Well, it's taken us 3 months to get this far. It's about time something happened.
How long have you had her under surveillance?
A year, maybe longer. Hello? Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. It's for you.
Hello? Hey, listen, you're supposed to be... Well, I couldn't care less. Now, look, you do what I told you to do. Because I said so.
What was that all about?
What's this chick Margot I hired as my wife?
Oh, come on. She's supposed to leave town. That was the deal.
She said she got a television commercial. She's going to stay another day.
It would be better if she were out of town. The longer she stays, more likely she is to blow the gig on all of us.
Yes, I'm hip.
Well, I almost said 8 o'clock. You better get on it.
Yes. Gonna go do my acting job. I need money. I need money because I need money.
And this is my roommate, Bobby. Scott, I told Bobby about what we talked about before. And...
I hope I'm not being rude, dear, but I'd rather talk to Mr. Scott alone.
Yes, Bobby. Excuse me.
Talk to me about what?
Well, eventually about money. That was the point of this meeting, wasn't it?
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Your job gives you access to sensitive information, Mr. Scott. I want to take advantage of that situation.
I think we can forget that.
Why? You're broke, aren't you? And in trouble. I mean, that hasn't changed, has it?
No, it hasn't changed, but you're asking me to become a traitor.
Is that what you think? That I'm a red spy, Mr. Scott. Oh, no. What I'm asking is, well, simply common practice. Corporations spend millions of dollars a year trying to find out what their competitors are doing. They hire employees away, they buy data. I represent a competing company.
All right, well, what kind of information do you want me to get for you?
$7,500 worth.
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Scott. You go ahead and think about it. Take a few days off and think about it.
Thank you. I do know one thing's for sure, though.
What's that?
It's gonna cost you $10,000.
I don't like to be hustled, Mr. Scott.
Me either.
I think you were right, dear. I think you'll do just fine. I think he'll get us where we want to go. He has a company car, company uniform, carries company visitor badges. Yeah, he'll do just fine if we can trust him. Before we move, I'll make certain of that. Absolutely certain. Did the others come back? Just came in. Roger, Manfred.
Better. Margot, I'd like you to meet my friends. Margot, you know, sings in a nightclub. Entertain us, Margot. Now, tell my friends what you told us in the car. Roger. Margot, tell them.
Scott and I are not married. The whole thing was put on. I was paid to do it. Well, I was paid.
To make that scene in the nightclub, huh?
Yes. Well, look, what do you want from me? I just saw him that one time. I haven't done anything.
Who hired you? Who hired you, dear?
Kelly. Kelly Robertson.
And they know about us. Yeah. But what they don't know is that we know they know.
What difference does that make?
All the difference in the world, all the difference between success and failure. And we have the advantage.
Scott, I've been waiting for you. Bobby has your money.
You get all of it?
She wants you at our place by noon.
At noon? I can't wait. I get a tour after lunch.
You'll be back in time.
Yeah,
They're leaving now. Signing out at the gate.
we're on schedule. That leaves Kelly Robinson.
You'll have to be set up.
He will be.
Look out, Bobby!
Lock her up in here. The first time I hear you raise your voice will be absolutely the last.
Mr. Kelly Robinson, take line 3, please. Mr. Kelly Robinson, line 3.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Kelly. Oh, Kelly.
What's this?
It's Margot. Listen.
Margot, you're supposed to have left town.
There's somebody going to kill you.
Who?
A man called Rogers looking for you.
Where are you, honey?
Don't worry, dear. He'll assume you called from your apartment, and he'll go there. And there'll be somebody there to meet him.
Yeah, Mac. Now, look. I want you to get the word to Scotty right away. All bets are off. I think they're on to us.
It's too late. Scott's already left.
Well, he's walking right into it. Can you get out on all points on that company wagon that he's driving?
Right.
Okay, I'll be in touch. Right.
We want the countdowns on the boosters being tested at Santa Susana.
It's kind of tough. I'll need time to manage it.
I want them today.
We can't have it today.
Oh, yes, I can have them today. I'm a congresswoman. Manfred's an undersecretary of something or other. We go up to the installation in your company car, using your VIP badges, gather up the data, and blow up the stands.
You can't blow up the stands. I mean, it can't be done. In the first place, we get inside. We won't be able to get outside because they have security guards and deputies and state police.
You keep saying we, Mr. Scott. What you don't seem to understand is that you're not coming with us. What I needed you for, your company car, your uniform, your badges, well, I've already got those. I don't need you, Mr. Scott, or your phony ex-wife anymore. When I reach Santa Susana, you and she will be far away and quite dead.
patience are not one of my strong points, Pally.
Well, it's not one of mine either, so don't you try any monkey business. I'm Ethel Castler, Margot's neighbor. This thug hurt you, Sonny?
I'm okay, thanks to you, ma'am.
I'm a thug, and he is Sonny, huh? Listen, ma'am, this guy is a killer.
I saw who was attacking whom.
Margot gave me her keys and asked me to pick up some things for her. I walked in and found this guy ransacking the place.
First moment I saw you, my intuition told me you were a crook. You're too pretty to earn an honest living.
Ma'am, just please, let me call the police.
I'm not gonna let you budge. Call the police, Sonny.
The phone's torn out. I'll borrow a phone.
Hey, you're letting him get away.
I'll be there at 3:15. Thank you very much.
Was that about the helicopter lesson?
Yes, starts at 3:15. 45 minutes later, I force the instructor to land where I tell him.
ID badges ready?
Yes, here you are, Madam Congresswoman, from your favorite undersecretary of something or other.
Roger, hurry. Ah, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Get those two into the car.
Ma'am, has it occurred to you that that the man is not coming back? The police could have got here on cameras by now.
Oh, he had an honest face.
Well, John Wilkes Booth had an honest face. Look, there's a picture in Margot's bedroom. She took it of my partner and me, and it'll prove that I am a friend of hers. Will you let me get it, please?
You stay where you are. Don't you move. You stay right there.
Head for the freight cars.
Count 10 and go.
Move. Yo, Roger, get that door closed. They'll freeze to death in there.
Don't worry about anything. The firemen will be here soon, and all we have to do is just keep knocking on the door.
patrolman saw one of our station wagons in the area just before the false alarm. That's about all we know.
I want all these freight cars searched, every last one of them.
The police are already on it.
Open your eyes. Keep your eyes open. I tell you what, I'll give you a rub down. Here we go.
Now you get sexy.
Yes, yes. Come on. Get up. Get up. Up. Come on. Keep moving. Keep running.
They searched every boxcar in the yard. Nothing. Back? Yeah. Let's find out if any trains left the yard. And stop them wherever they are.
We got to lose. It's McCauley here. I want you to get to the dispatcher for me. Congresswoman Graves and Undersecretary Leninger.
There'll be a little delay, Mr. Scott. A little panic down in Downey, I guess. All station wagons are supposed to call into security.
Sleep. Eddie would never go to sleep. You have to keep walking. Never went to sleep. And I had to leave because it was getting too late. And then it was all cold out on the street. I had to wait for that darn L bus to come by. Oh boy, oh, I was freezing. But the way I kept from freezing to death was I used to think how warm it was. It was really, really warm. Really warm out here. And then I get angry, thinking about how that girl must be upstairs sleeping in the bed. Must really be sleeping nice and warm. She was nice and warm, and I was nice and warm.
Second siren on.
Siren sounded.
Flame coolant on.
Flame coolant on.
vehicle the space agency wishes to launch to the moon weighs more than 6 million pounds. So the Rocketdyne engines, after providing for the initial lift, will generate 7,500,000 pounds of thrust. Now, this afternoon's test is for the Saturn's second stage. 1 million pounds of thrust for 30 seconds.
Verify armed light.
Armed light is on.
Margot. Stuff. Strange stuff.
You know about as much as I do on the highballing or sitting on the siding. Thursday's always payday.
Cars to check in another hour shot.
And what then?
There's still time to have a look at the cryogenic facilities.
Hey, man, warm yourself up a little bit. Get that inside the pipes.
Wait. How is she?
She got some pulse. That's better than none.
Well, I blew it.
No, sir, not yet. As soon as we get you in the ambulance, I'm taking off for Santa Cesar.
No, sir, not going to the hospital.
Look, you got frostbite and you got a lot of blood loss and no brains at all.
Yeah. Well, what difference does it make as long as I have my health?
It's got through to Santa Susana. It's too late. They're in the blockhouse already. They forced the crew to stop a test, and the tanks are still loaded with fuel.
Well, they can be surrounded before they...
We can't move in on them. They're holding 2 senators and 6 of the country's top engineers as hostages.
I notice your goosebumps have gone down a little bit. I'm delighted to see that it has. That you're feeling once more in the total. Because you really are a half-wit, you know, and obstinate to boot.
Yes, however, I am loyal, obedient, reverent, kind, and unassuming, most...
There it is, Santa Susana. All we have to do is lose the stands in that one canyon, and the whole program's pushed back. Rocketdyne engines power all 3 stages of the moon vehicle.
This is a helicopter. Bronwyn. She's a fool to be this early.
That's not Bronwyn, that's a company helicopter. I want that helicopter to clear out of here. I will remind you there are 12 hostages in this bunkhouse.
Yes, here it is. Schematic drawings of the entire system. With these, I can blow that thing right off its flap. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And now I want your countdown sheets.
We don't have much choice, man. We can't rush the blockhouse. Not when they're holding our people in there.
Well, why don't we shut the power off?
Negative. Independent power source comes from over in the blockhouse.
Well, then we'll pull the main power cable to the test stand.
It's impossible. Now, they'd see anybody from up there on the stand. Somebody would have to go up under the engines and across that supporting girder hand over hand. It can't be done.
You're going to be hanging up there with more than 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen hanging over your head and about 100 feet of air beneath you.
Right. Keep good care of my gun, Johnny.
First step complete. Next, console C. All right, which is console C?
Tell him nothing. They can't kill us all.
The man asked, which is console C?
Listen, you're bypassing all of our safety circuits. You throw the wrong switch, you'll blow up the boost of the stands and half of this mountain.
That, mister, is the idea.
minutes to go.
We'll make it. We'll make it. If we wanted engine ignition, we'd go with this. But with the electrical circuit change and a little difference in sequence, yes, we can create quite a blow-up.
Well?
Well, if something's wrong, there's no response. There must be a bad circuit.
Blow those stands up or I'll kill you.
A helicopter. It's Bronwyn. Let's get out of here.
Blow those stands up.
No, there's no power. It's been cut. I don't know how, but it's been cut.
Gather up the data. Roger, wreck those consoles.
They're gone and they got classified material.
Watch it!
Sit there and count your fingers. What can you do? Oh, girl, you're through. Sit there and count your little fingers. Unlucky little girl blue. Sit there and count the raindrops.
Well, I mean, if anything, she's more beautiful now that she come out of the hospital. And I think that whole experience has kind of matured her a little bit, man. She's gentle and she's warm now. She's not kooky and kind of crazy like she was before.
Yeah, well, just with all, she's still a charming and vibrant, exciting woman, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you something else, man. I was thinking about, like, you may laugh at it or whatever, but, I mean, you take a place like Downey. This is not bad. Little place, 9-to-5 job around
Don't
here.
laugh at it. Are you kidding? After all, what is happening in Tokyo or Rome or Athens that wouldn't be happening for you right here in Downey, was it?
Why won't some another blue boy to cheer little girl blue.
Thank you very much. There's someone very special here tonight, and I'd like for you to meet him. Mr. Alexander Scott. My fiancé.
Yeah, what'd you say that for?
Well, you are going to be. I'll see you as soon as I change.
Yeah, okay.
Darling.
Yes, darling.
Hey, listen, man, you didn't tell me about that.
I know I didn't tell you about that.
That's really... Now, that puts a whole different complexion on it.
Hope
now.
so, because we're
See,
getting
let's
out
go
of
out
here.
and get some flowers
No,
and a
flowers.
church.
No, we have to get out of here.
Oh, what are you talking about?
No.
This girl's mature now.
No, sir. Crazy.
Cookie. Oh, how can you say that?
Big space.
She's in
here
love,
today.
man. You can't. No, you're being unreasonable.
No, I'm not.
Alexander.
No, sir.
You're really being unreasonable.
Next station stop, Marrakesh. The Pearl of the South. True. Gateway to the to the Sahara.
Yes, sir, but you do not say it correctamente.
Oh.
It is the gateway to the Sahara.
Oh, all right, if you say so.
Yes.
Hey, do you know how many times I read The Arabian Nights when I was a kid? 17 times.
Sir, I have news for you. About 3,000 miles to the right of yourself is the Arabian neighborhood. The name of this neighborhood is Morocco.
Oh, you got no romance in your soul, man.
Listen, in Aladdin and his wonderful lamp, the name of the country was China.
I see.
In one of the great and wealthy cities of China, once on a time, there lived a lowly tailor named Mustafa.
In China.
That's right. Now, Mustafa was exceedingly poor.
I see.
And by his daily toil, he could scarce support himself, a wife,
I'm listening.
a young son.
Named Hong Kong.
No, named Aladdin.
Okay. The Paris of the Sahara.
And do you know why they call Marrakesh the Paris of the Sahara?
Yes, because that is the Arabian version of the Eiffel Tower, you see.
Certainly.
Good night, Chet.
Good night, David.
My friend.
Alaikum assalam.
You want to see Sultan Palace? Ancient parts of the city?
No, what city did you have in mind?
Baltimore?
Baltimore. Okay. This is Mr. Robinson. My name is Mr. Scott. What's yours?
Musa ibn Idris.
Happy to know you.
Mr. Conway calls me Mo.
I hope
Whatever is good enough for Mr. Conway is good enough for us. Okay, Mo, lead the way.
Let me show you.
Okay.
Why couldn't Mr. Conway just have met you at your hotel instead of this tour of Marrakesh?
Mr. Conway doesn't like to do anything the easy way. He likes to hide.
Well, even at that, we don't even do things half as tricky as they do them in spy novels.
We didn't read law fiction at Brandeis. I used to like Tarzan and the Apes and Insidious Dr. Fu Manchu. Stuff like that.
Nothing?
Conway, we have gone through the High Atlas, the Anti-Atlas, the Valley of the Sioux, and a sizable chunk of the Sahara Desert.
It's the only thing down there. There's a lot of heat and a lot of sand flies and some guys walking around in blue nightshirts.
Mm-hmm. What's with the old man of Ishmael?
Oh, the old man. Well, the old man of Ishmael actually is, well, he's pretty much of an old man, actually, Conway. What he does is he sits around and he dozes a lot in the afternoon, takes his iron tonic, and he reminisces about the old... He's in retirement,
There's
Conway.
no such thing as a retired fanatic. Remember, this old gent used to be head of the Inner Council of Damascus.
You're the expert. You're the expert on the holy wars. But I'm telling you right now that if I was going to set out to straighten up the infidels and make the world safe for the old-time religion, I sure wouldn't start in Morocco.
Look, gentlemen, we're talking about a jihad. A holy war. The main thing we need for that is a new Mahdi.
Mahdi?
The Redeemer. The man on the white horse.
So you think the old man of Hitchmakan is setting himself up as the new Mahdi?
No, he's too old for that. He's past 90. He'd need a younger man to front for him.
All right, well, what are the requirements for the job?
Well, he'd have to be a revered figure in the Arab world, a spellbinder, and a schemer.
Yeah, sounds like that guy, what's his name in Cairo?
The Grand Mufti of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, the people I'm talking about used to send the Grand Mufti out for sandwiches. If one of them were around now, we'd be on the edge of a holy war. There could have been 4 of them. They're all canceled out.
What are the 4?
The 4 are Ayub the Butcher, died 2 years ago in Afghanistan. Abul Hussein, bookkeeper type, no flair. Khalid Shah is in an asylum in Tehran. And the Jabad is completely out of the picture.
Mm-hmm. What Jabad? Who's that?
The Jabad of Basra. Old Saif al-Allah, the sword of God. He had lots of style. He'd have made a terrific Mahdi.
Well, how come he's out of the picture?
The Jabad has been a guest of the British government since the Baghdad riots in 1941. Great little show, but his timing was a little off. He's still in England, which means he's still in jail. So it looks like the war is off for the time being, which means I have time to catch a 2 o'clock plane to Cairo.
Well, wait, what about us here?
Why don't you take a vacation or something? Maybe your next assignment would be something exciting. Like looking for microphones in the martinis.
Okay, Conway. Yeah. Now, don't you think that your mom, what would she think if you had a nice camel's hair rug?
I'm afraid she would say it's a little ostentatious.
Well, she could make it into a coat. Now, look, oh, wait a minute. Let's make a beautiful coat.
Big.
Look, now, there's more camel's hair being worn by people these days. Now, look at this. Then there is, excuse me.
Perhaps you'll be kind enough to step aside and let the gentleman pass.
Oh, I thought it was a good idea, actually. camel's hair coat.
You know who was that man in the white beard? I only seen his pictures. He's the Jahbar of Basra, the sword of God.
Maybe we can still catch Conway.
Well, how are we going to catch Conway, man? How do we know where we are? All these truck houses look the same.
Well, let's see. In Alabama and 40 Thieves, they just put chalk on the door.
Oh, I see. Chalk. Well, have we any pool players in the house?
It didn't work anyway, though, because you see, Maharana, the clever and devoted slave girl, she perceived these designs were made by an enemy, and in which case, then she ran around the whole block and made marks on all the other doors, so you can't trust anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's forget the chalk now. Somebody's got to watch the place. And, Mo, you seem to fit in with the scenery.
As a matter of fact, I'm outstandingly inconspicuous. I just pick out a door and sit down for my nap.
It's a marvelous suggestion, Mo. One thing, though, please try to keep it play pretend nap, you know, eyes open at all times.
Are you teaching me how to be sneaky?
No. Mo. No. Mo. No, Mo.
That's ridiculous. Saif al-Allah is doing life in a British jail. The only way he could get out of England, or into this country for that matter, is in a box.
Yes, but it was your boy Mo who recognized him from the old picture, sir.
All right. Maybe there's somebody that looks like the Jabbar of Basra. Excuse me?
There are not too many somebodies that look like the man we saw, Conway.
Conway!
Mr. Conway, airport car is ready.
Why don't you take the bags down for Mr. Conway to his automobile and stow them therein?
I'll be there in a minute.
Go ahead. Have a nice trip. And we'll send you a little picture postcard of the thorn trees in blossom.
Now, look. I've got conferences with 2 kings and 3 prime ministers in the next 4 days. I want you to check this guy out and verify that he is not the man you mistook him for.
And what if he is?
Kill him.
Let me just look at the ramparts of the city and do what to him?
Kill him. Well, you gotta admit the kid puts his heart into the performance.
Oh, that's the way to catch a lot of fleas sitting there forever.
Come on, Mo, let's go to work.
He's strangled.
I don't know which version of the Arabian Nights you got us into, but I certainly hope it's Aladdin and you'll find that wonderful lamp.
No, man, this looks like Alabama and the 40 Thieves.
Oh.
Yeah, a large and vaulted cavern. heaped from floor to ceiling with camelotes of silks and rich brocades. Mounds on mounds of varicolored carpetings.
Sir, by liege, it looks like flour to me. Flour.
For generations, the robbers have stored their gains and spoils in this particular cave. Looking about us, we should espy coins, both golden and silver, beyond measure or account.
Sure, I wish you would espy us out of here.
No, not that way. The police are still about.
Come in, mystery guest, and sign in, please.
I rather think they've gone to find the watchman, to let them in through the office so they can search here.
Uh-huh. Well, your voice is very reassuring, my dear, but I wonder if you wouldn't be kind enough.
There's only one place to hide, and you're not to come out of that until I tell you. Now then.
Now, this one is coming back to me, the one with the people hiding in the barrels.
Actually, they were hiding in huge leathern jars.
And didn't somebody come along and pour boiling oil into these leathering jars? Somebody like...
It's been quite a while since I read all that stuff. Some of the details...
تعال هنا تعال هنا
Come on. Come out now. Everyone's gone.
No, I don't believe we've met.
That's quite true.
However, I readily perceive myself that this is the noted beauty. Princess Dear Elbador, daughter of a sultan, no?
I found these things for you. Just slip them on over what you're wearing now.
Okay. You take the Franklin and I'll take it. Why?
What do you mean, why?
Yeah,
this is
what?
Halloween, and you gotta have a costume if it's Halloween.
I think you should know. I'm aware of who you are and what you're trying to do. And I must say you're doing it rather bumblingly. Your poor friend left spying on that house.
Well, what makes him our friend?
The Royal Moroccan Intelligence Service, I dare say. The man you've meshed yourself against is not only one of the cleverest in the world, he's also very quick and very deadly. I'm afraid you're going to need all the help I can give you.
All right, ma'am. Now, just what team are you on and what is the game you're playing?
If we're to stop the job out of Basra, we'll have to catch up with him again. He won't be waiting for you where you left him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Coach, what's the plan?
Well, I'll give it a bit of thought. It will have to be something quite simple or else you'll mess it up.
Ha.
Now then, when you leave,
Yes, ma'am.
try and remember that Arabs walk quite differently from Americans. Shuffle along with a bit of a roll, like sailors. Don't gawk about in all directions. Try not to look as if you were going somewhere.
Madam, I tell you what, if it's all the same to you... Hello, madam. Ma'am? Miss? Hello there. Hey, come on. There's a ladies' entrance from this place because there's no entrance back there at all. And we were standing right there. And the voice... Aha, he said. That's it. Hello, madam. Excuse me, won't you, for a moment? Hey, what's a small tropical grain in 6 letters used for food and the manufacture of oil?
Wheat.
Open wheat. That's 5 letters.
Sesame.
Ah, open sesame. Although I presume that any such word like Mississippi or anything like that would indeed activate the thermostatic cupping of the sacks, thereby drawing back the bags and throwing the whole thing over.
But my dear boy, most of the Persians are idiots. They're not only idiots, but lunatics as well, which is enormously important in a project such as ours. You people seem to be distressingly sane.
I think what Hassan al-Jadr is saying, sir...
You ask 500 million Muslims to rise out one morning to drive out the infidel, purge the human race of its worldliness and corruption, etc., etc. It simply won't wash unless they're feeling a trifle religious, which means a trifle uncomfortable. We shall need proclamations against drinking and dancing and other naughty little habits, and a rather steady stream of trances, visions, miracles, and prophecies. Kirid Shah, who's always been a little loose at the hinges, has a positive genius for that kind of thing.
What may I say, sir, to the Prime Minister of Qadra? He's ready to come over to our side and his army is behind him.
Tell him to keep his army quiet and amused until we are ready for it, which will not be until phase 2. That contingent won't join us until we have first struck here, and here, and here.
Like a sandstorm in the desert.
Perhaps, yes.
Forgive me, it is time for us to go.
I'll show you the way. Now, one can't depend entirely on fire and the sword. One must also have an infallible sense of time and place. Oh, what have we here? Oh, you finally got here, did you? I'd quite given you up.
Yeah. Listen, I don't suppose there's anything that we could say that would,
No, I dare say it wouldn't.
Grandfather, are you...
You chaps can run along home now. Tell Dr. Zombawa the situation is well in hand.
Dr. Sombawa will wish to see these men, Jabad. We will dispose of them for you.
Chief, you'll do nothing of the sort. That is one of the pleasanter little pleasures I always reserve for myself. And I'm forgetting the social amenities. Perizada, allow me to present Mr. Kelly Robinson and Mr. Alexander Scott. My granddaughter, gentlemen. You'll find you have much in common. Perizada is keenly interested in espionage and political assassination, the sort of work you're in.
Grandfather.
Please excuse us. Ah, professional tennis player. That's an uncommonly clever touch.
Sophocles. Oedipus at Colonus.
Wonderful.
Classical Greek. Tolma, Xenos, Epixenos. Slaman. Endure. Sort of like keep the faith, baby.
Oh,
you know?
really?
No, actually, it's funny, but what it really says is pity the poor foreigner in a foreign country. You have to love what they love and hate what they hate.
I'll try.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we might all do well to keep in mind. Though we'll none of us be in Morocco for very long. Pity, I find it rather a pretty country, don't you?
Well, it's a lot of excitement.
Ah, that's because you keep active. Following people around, bursting into their houses with murderous intent. I find it fascinating to watch. I only wish you'd chosen a more convenient time.
Yes, well, organizing a holy war must keep you very active yourself, sir.
What has a holy war to do with us?
Well, that's the word, sir. That seems to be the plan, and you're the man.
There is no such thing as a holy war. Wars are either political, having to do with self-determination and real estate, or economic, which means that the other scoundrel gets all the tax money and you get none.
Which group do you belong to, sir?
Both. I am both ambitious and greedy. Has it ever occurred to you that the raw material with which to satisfy ambition and greed lies scattered around the world in the persons of 500 million Muslims? That's an impressive number of Muslims, gentlemen. 250 million of them live in Muslim countries. Now, the other 500 million lives under non-Muslim rule. In your country, maybe be a mere 75,000, but 50 million in the Soviet Union and 60 million in Red China. Now, what would you do about all those people, Mr. Robinson?
Well, I don't know. If I were a crackpot, I guess I would probably take my $500 million on the outside, march right in, and liberate the $500 million on the inside of such little places like Russia, China.
Yeah, how exciting. Hordes of the faithful galloping about the Siberian sand dunes with green flags and terrifying noises, brandishing their scimitars and hurling their fearful swords in all directions. Oh, really, Samuel, must you always spoil the climax? What? Oh, excuse me, gentlemen, another delegation from the outlying provinces. Have Ishmael and Mustafa conduct our guests to their quarters. Here's something I wager neither of you knew. I have more Muslims in the Balkans than in the entire kingdom of Jordan.
Sorry, you never make it with a teenage crowd.
With this guy at all. I mean, what kind of a mod he is that goes around sounding like Robert Donut in Goodbye, Mr. Chips?
Yes, I prefer my man Lawrence Harvey in the role myself.
Lawrence Harvey?
Yes, Lawrence Harvey.
Oh, you mean Lawrence Oliver?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm telling you right now, Cal, this is the one way that nature has of telling you that you should never read the same story 17 times. You see, actually, there was no Javad. He and that Mr. Hitchmaker or whatever, and the Sultan's daughter.
Granddaughter.
Well, whatever it is, man. They're all just hallucinations. It's a part of a fevered brain, your brain, and keep me out of it.
Conway says that this guy has got all the class and all the brains in the whole area, right? So what does he do? He catches two guys that are trying to kill him in his own house. What does he do? He sits them down, gives them a glass of mint tea, tells them his whole life story, also all of his plans, and sends them to bed without just supper.
Overconfidence is a sign of a real kook, you see.
Uh-huh. Or a cat with a couple of mice. What is that thing he was reading, that Oedipus?
Is Oedipus a Colonus?
Doesn't matter a whole lot where it is it?
Yes, because, you see, just a regular old raggedy Oedipus, you see, is a story of a man who found out that he had murdered his father and married his mom.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Now, Jabad's Oedipus is just a sequel, you see. This is where Oedipus himself is an old blind beggar being led around by his daughter looking for a good place to die.
Well, any place will do, except this one, please, please.
So they settled in Colonus, which is a town just outside of Athens, and there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and the next thing you know, the gods forgive him, and he dies, lives happily ever after.
حل الباب.
Oh, sister of mine, quoth the king. If thou being not tired and sleepy, tell us some more of thy pleasant tales.
What an exquisite hash you two have made of everything.
Yes. If she really cared for us, though, she'd want us to meet the family.
Certainly.
I trust you all had a very pleasant chat.
Oh, yes, we had a wonderful time. He's a very charming man. Lovely man. He's homey and folksy, and he just wants to make the world a better place for everybody to live in.
Yes, you get him talking about his favorite hobby there, boy, that's when he really gets trippy. It's another 10 minutes, and I would have joined myself.
Mr. Scott, my grandfather has been called out for 25 years retirement to command the most dangerous men in the world. Not because he's so utterly charming, but because they all know that he's more cunning and more ruthless than any of them. Whatever the Jabbat of Basra sets out to do, nothing ever stands in his way.
And bully for him, he's got a long way to go.
Has he? There's only one more piece to get into place. The old man of Ichmagan is coming to meet with him. When he and the Jabbat come together, that will mean the opening of a council of war.
Yes, the gunpowder and the match. Their meeting could blow up the Arab world.
I needn't tell you that he won't want you around when that meeting occurs.
Yes, you're probably, Well, listen, Perazada, my dear child of the desert, the very fact that you bring this up leads me to believe that you have another cunning plan in mind, no?
Yes. And we are all in this together.
Try 4, open the door. 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, got them straight.
Somewhat heavy to me, but then everything does at my age. I've always preferred small, delicate, intimate things, like hand grenades. How was it in the tests?
Very good, Master.
Very well. If this is the model you favor, that is the one we'll use. Ah, my tea. Thank you, Samuel. Samuel, bring 2 more cups, will you? It appears we have company. Milk or lemon, gentlemen? It must be intensely frustrating, but then you should have realized that assassinating me is not a task for simple souls like yourselves. I was a simple sort once before I went to prison in 1941. Devious but unsophisticated.
Yeah, we heard about your unsophisticated little Baghdad riots. Knocked off the pro-British leaders and overthrew the government of Iraq. Good time was had by all.
The Baghdad coup, my good young friend, was an incredible botch. Uncontrolled mobs, burning, looting, and killing. The needless dead included the Murebi of Baghdad, who was a very great man, and incidentally, my own father. And what did it accomplish? It brought the British into Iraq and the Russians into Iran.
Well, you can't win them all.
Serving a life imprisonment, particularly in England, allows one an elegant sufficiency of time for reading and thinking. The question often came to, what is the purpose of a life that is finished at middle age? Obviously, there's no purpose at all, and that's a very bitter answer.
Tell me, sir, are you bitter with the whole world or just with the British?
Oh, don't misunderstand me, Mr. Robinson. I'm a vindictive old man, but not in the least bitter. As to the British, I found them a well-meaning people, always solicitous. Can we bring you better food, warmer clothing, books to read? Yes, if I hadn't been to England, I should never have met the ancient Greeks. Mr. Scott, did you realize that Sophocles was 95 years old when he wrote the Oedipus at Colonus?
You're particularly fond of this Oedipus?
Oh, but of course. Here is a man whose life was shattered at the prime. We find him now an old and friendless exile. It is not until now, when he wanders into Colonus in search of death, that he realizes that there was a purpose after all. All the harsh and cruel things the gods have done to him were only to give a purpose to these last days. All his life was pointed towards his death. Remember that great speech to King Theseus. Remember that, Mr. Scott? Only the gods, he says, are spared old age and death. The earth decays, the body withers, sweet turns to bitter, back again to sweet. But he himself has been promised that in his death he shall taste revenge upon his enemies. For then he says, my sleeping corpse, cold in the ground, shall drink their lifeblood hot.
You are doing very well, Jehabad. You catch them almost as fast as this girl can turn them loose.
Kill that creature! It is my granddaughter that is mauling flesh of my flesh.
But she has betrayed you, Jehabad. This time she was clever enough to have them tie her up. She has betrayed you twice today.
Grandfather, believe me.
Get up. I'm sure you can prove all this, power. You can imagine how ghastly it will be for you if you can't. I'll look into this later when I have more time and privacy. And I promise either you or she will be lavishly rewarded. Zambawa, I confess I find myself persistently annoyed by this man of yours.
I'm very sorry, Jehabad, if I'd known.
It will pass. When I have these three tucked up for the night, I want him taken to the cellars. Have your other people there to watch while Abdul Rahman gives him 75 lashes.
That will kill him.
Very possibly it will. But it'll do a world of good for everyone else.
Save candles. Costs a lot of money, you know. You guys got any cards? Want to play some poker or casino or anything like that? My man is a demon at casino. Well, okay.
Listen, you want to give a go at busting out of here?
No, thank you. All we would do is wind up in the principal's office again. I really cannot take any more of that tea and sympathy.
What kind of a guy is this anyway? What's he keeping us around here for? Is he a compulsive talker or just a plain egomaniac or what?
He told you exactly what he is. Sly, devious, vindictive.
I came to make sure you were quite comfortable.
You really are too kind to us, sir.
Oh, it's the old saying, Mr. Robinson, cast your bread upon the waters. God will know it if the fishes don't. I'm afraid I'm not going to see much of you today. Visitors from the south, conferences, enterprises of great pith and moment, as Shakespeare says.
How is your family?
Yes, the tongue always finds the aching tooth, doesn't it? I fear you're not going to see Perizada again at all. I was obliged to send her on a little trip.
Master, there's not much time. Just past Tutkal on the way north.
Oh, you gentlemen have been so remarkably patient. I should like you to have met my associates. However...
Well, if they're half as nice as the ones we've met already.
They're meeting to start a holy war. How can they be nice?
Oh, they are delightful. The most resourceful, the most diabolical minds in the Arab world. A sort of right-wing, pan-Islamic summit conference.
Mohammedan mafia.
Well said, well said. Oh, you'll find them enormously stimulating. Well, this may be goodbye, gentlemen. As we say in Arabic, salam alaikum, or as we say in Greek, Mr. Scott, tele tele zeus te katama.
What in the world is tele tele?
Tele is, it's like classical Greek. He will accomplish. Zeus is, of course, Zeus. The gist of it is that God's got a heavy day ahead of him.
What else is known?
Nothing much.
If you please, gentlemen, get up. Hands together behind your backs.
Uh-huh. Hey, you know what? This is one way to get out of a locked room.
I hope so.
Hold on here. I ruled Paris and had mass.
Just take a seat anywhere, huh?
Certainly. Hey. All in their places with sunshiny faces. Well, offhand, I would say there's nothing much we can do anymore.
What do you mean, anymore? And yet?
And yet what?
He kept talking about Oedipus. Oedipus came to a foreign land to die. The Jabab comes to make war.
Well, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Might. Soon.
That's the Kingfish himself. The old man of H. McCann. Well, it's all over but the joyous tumult.
You gentlemen come from many nations and speak many tongues, so I will take the liberty of addressing you in the language which is familiar to most of you. You are the leaders in the mighty conflict which is ahead. Without all of you, this bloodiest of all wars cannot hope to succeed. The tasks will be tremendous, the agony enormous, and victory, if it comes, will find many of us gone already by fire and the sword, by siege and slaughter, by epidemic and starvation. Within 2 years, more than 1 million of our own people will have died, and you and I must bury them.
Always a soft sell.
During my first years away from you, I was at times unjust to the memory of my old friends. I felt then that my brothers had abandoned and forgotten me, even those that had been closest, even this oldest and greatest friend, the Baba of Ishmael. No one, not even my sainted father, the Murabi, ever had so profound an influence on my life. Without Ibn Halal behind me, guiding and pushing me, the events of Baghdad in 1941 could never have been accomplished. There are others like the old man.
We lost our fourth for bridge.
Dedicated men, old and wise and cunning, men who have worked long in the dark.
Let's do this, Lotus. Indeed.
Most of them are modest about the things that they have done. But yesterday, certain documents were forwarded to the United Nations. Documents from a variety of sources, some of them dating back to 1912, telling of the men who have performed great services for Islam and the world, who in the great Arab revolt of 50 years ago betrayed Lawrence of Arabia to the Turks, who in the 1940s received his honors from the Indonesians and his income from the Dutch. The same man who brought peace and harmony to the inner councils of Damascus by betraying all who did not support him to the Palestine police for execution. The same man who saved the British the trouble of a prolonged and possibly futile search for me by revealing to them my hiding place.
Well, he brought them together to kill him.
And to die, like Oedipus.
Was using you. He's still using you. He was utterly without shame in that respect. He used me up to the moment he shoved me on board of the plane. Keep those trivial affairs. Keep those 2 Americans busy, he said. Out of the way and out of trouble till they're needed.
Yes. Well, what part of the play were we supposed to be?
Most important of all, you were the audience. Certain people had to be told what had happened and that everything had been put to rights. He was a mischievous old scoundrel, but very tidy.
But, Perry, there's one part that still doesn't fit. It doesn't make any... Look, we know he's dead. We saw it happen, but,
No question about that. Those were his own men at the guns, and they'd been told precisely when to use them.
the ruins were searched 4 times, and there's no sign of the Jabbat's body.
Well, you see, that's like in the Oedipus play, man. Wherever the grave was, that's where the guides sort of blessed him, and the people didn't know where the grave was because the guides buried him themselves, see?
Have some cream?
Yeah. Also, they went through his room, they checked it around, and they found a few things. One in particular was a thank you letter, sort of thank you letter to the King of Morocco, and also a few letters to personal friends of his in Greece. And he also left this with the mark. It's a speech of Antigone, the daughter who stuck with him to the end. In a foreign land, which he himself had chosen, he died. In his grave, he has a well-shaded bed forever, and we who mourn him are not without real tears.
It's nice. It sounds like something the old gentleman would have liked.
Of course. Otherwise, he wouldn't have marked the place for us.